Tell somebody God made it fail. God made it fail. God made it fail. Everything that the devil tried, God made it fail. God made it fail.
God made it fail. He made it fail. Everything that the devil tried, God made it.
God made it fail.
God made it fail. Everything
The devil tried.
God made it fail. God made it fail. God made it fail. God made it fail. Everything that the devil tried.
God made it. Y'all not happy.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, welcome. Greetings to the Empowerment Temple of Praise. It's Bishop here bringing you greetings and love on this wonderful first Sunday in November, getting close to 2023. Oh my goodness, it doesn't seem like it. Just seemed like this time just have flown by. But we're located and currently being constructed at 3615 Reed Street, Fort Worth, Texas 76119. Keep us in your prayers. God is working things out to get our building, our new church building constructed. And that's why we are performing or conducting online services through first 3 Sundays of the month. Fourth Sunday, AOW, fellow pastor, allows us to have worship service there. So, hey, let's get into this word. Prayer has already been made. There is a mighty, wonderful word from the Lord found in the Gospel of St. Luke chapter 22, verses 1, as you want words, verses 31 to 32, and the prophet Isaiah, 54th chapter, verse 17. I'll be reading from the, you got it, be it V version. Here's what is recorded in the gospel according to St. Luke. Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith will not fail. When you have turned back and overcome, I want you to help your brothers to be strong and come on over. Isaiah chapter 54 verse 17 reads, but no weapon formed against you will succeed. People may bring charges against you, but you will prove that those charges are all wrong. Those are the things I do for my servants. I make everything right for them, says the Lord. Using for a subject from which to preach, you already should have seen the inscription. The devil tried it, but God made it fail. Oh my goodness. The devil tried it, but God made it fail. I can testify that. I'm still shocked that there are folks out there who don't know that God took cancer out of my body and put it somewhere else and threw it in the sea. I don't know, but it's not in me anymore. I'm still shocked that everybody don't know that. Why? Because I told God that I want to tell everybody I get a chance to tell. On the job, in the store, if I'm just speaking to somebody and get into a conversation, I have to bring that up. Why? Because that was something that the devil formed, but it didn't prosper. Oh my goodness. Yeah. He tried. That was his plan, but God made that thing fail. In this day and time, with all the deception and the trickery that's going on. People are calling, faking, acting like they are IRS agents, and people are calling, acting like they're police officers. People are dressing up like police officers, looking and having lights on their own personal vehicles, stopping folks. All this trickery. People are emailing you, talking about, hey, I won a lot of money and now I want you to have some of it, but I ran into some problems over here in Nigeria. But if you cash this check, you can have half of it. And there are still folk falling for that trickery, that nonsense, right? Go to Ace, cash the check and wind up in handcuffs. Well, hey, no, this person told me, have you met him before? No, they emailed me. Come on, somebody. People are calling on the phone. How you doing? This is the IRS, and this is so-and-so, and I just want to tell you, you owe back taxes, and if you send $400, then I'll let the other $8,000 go. Come on, somebody. It's all this trickery, and it's not surprising that a lot of us, because we have been bamboozled before. Yeah, that's why I know I'm out. People send me stuff, Bishop, is this real? Most of the time, probably 98% of the time, folks that send me stuff and ask, is it real? I'm saying no. All it takes is a little research to find out if the stuff is real or not. There are folk doing fake Facebook pages, fake Twitter account, fake IG account, fake TikTok account, just fake. Why? Because they're trying to get over on folks. They're trying to trick you. And you know what? It ain't them. It's the enemy that's using them. And that's the thing about what the devil does. His job is to kill, steal, and destroy, right? That's his plan. But if we are children of the King, which we are, then whatever that joker try, God gonna make it fail. Why? Because the word just said it. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Don't mean it ain't going to form, but that thing ain't going to work. It ain't going to go to its final chord. It may shoot. The rocket may shoot, but it ain't going to reach where the enemy wants it to reach. Yeah, you may shoot a Scud missile. Yeah, you may shoot a weapon over here. I may see it. It may make me feel funny. I may be feeling like I'm discomfort of some sort, but the end result is it ain't going to prosper. Yeah, the cancer that was in my body, yeah, had me crazy, right? Had me wondering, is the 46 the last years on this earth? Will I make it to be 47? And, all these thoughts go through your head, but that's the devil's plan, right? But God said that thing ain't gonna prosper, it's gonna fail. And I love that, y'all, because I'm trying to encourage somebody today. If you're watching, whether you are watching live or you are watching on the recorded version and went back and watched it later when you had the time, it's not an accident that you are watching this message, because God wants you to know that the devil is trying it, but God will make it fail. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with asking, because I ask a lot of people right now. If folk all of a sudden just start calling me for some reason, I'm going to ask them, why you now calling me? You ain't never called me. Why you calling me? Why? Because I've been bamboozled before. Folks have got my money before from a long time ago, right? All these schemes. Because I've gone through it. I love this, y'all, because I've gone through it. Now I'm able to help other folk not go through the same thing that God allowed me to go through and then be strengthened by. I love that. I love that, because that's what this message is about today. The devil will try. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. He gonna try to destroy you. That's his job, right? But God said he come that we may have life and life more abundantly. I ain't worrying about what the devil come to do. Just know that you got the King on your side. Here it is. Here it is. You may say, Bishop, that's paranoia if you gonna ask folks that call all of a sudden. They just may be trying to call and see how you doing. And that may be true. But I'm still going to ask them why. I ain't talked to you in years, and you live right down the street. Now all of a sudden you calling me. What's the reason? Ain't nothing wrong with asking folks. You need to ask questions after question these days. Why? Because the devil will use anybody he can to bring you down. Oh, man, I said something. Y'all probably missed it. Let me say it again. The devil will use anybody to bring you down. Like who, Bishop? Glad you asked. The devil will use your mama. Devil will use your daddy, your wife, your husband, your children, your grandchildren, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your fiance. Yeah, he'll use your so-called best friend, and they'll say, you know what, I don't know why I did that. I know why you did it, because the enemy used you to get to me. That's how I know. It's crazy, right? But the word tells us that the devil's job is to kill, steal, and destroy. And his job, he does well. There's no person that does his job better than the enemy. You like, oh, I've been on my job for years, Bishop, and I don't care how many raises you got and what you think you know. The devil is a spirit, and that joker can be in several places at the same time. You like, what? Like God? Yeah, he's a spirit. He don't have the power of God, but he has power, and God has allowed him to do certain things and some things, right? But he will not allow that stuff that he planned to destroy us to succeed. He's gonna try, but God gonna make that thing fail. I love this. I love this. You asked the question, Bishop, how in the world does the devil use my relatives? Well, it's easy to use folks that's closer to you, right? Folks that you don't know, you ain't gonna really trust. So it's hard. It's hard to get to you when he try to come through folks you don't know. If somebody, a stranger come knock on your door and say, hey, God told me to come get a loan from you, you're going to probably slam the door in their face and call the police. Hey, it's some man at my door talking about God told him to come get a loan from me. Now, sometimes God may have done that, right? But you ain't just going to say, okay, hold 1 second. How much was it? Because the devil, that's his job. He does it well. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and will use whatever tactic, whatever person, whatever people, whatever tools that he can to bring you down. That's his job. But the word says no weapon formed against us shall prosper. The plans that he make against us shall not prosper. All the schemes that he tries to use against us will not prosper. But they'll form. And sometimes we get so caught up in a rut because we see the formation and it messes with us. We think it's the actual end result, right? So we go crazy. No. You shouldn't be discouraged when you see the weapon forming, because God told us that it was going to form. He told us that he was going to allow it to form. And because he said it's going to be allowed to form, we shouldn't be like, oh my goodness, look at the rocket. Oh my goodness, look at the weapon. Oh, if you see stuff about to happen and trying to happen and scheming against you, you need to automatically focus on, okay, God allowed this. He told me about this. He told me. You might say, well, he didn't tell me specifically. No, he already told you the whole deal. He told you this is the life portion that we're going to go through as Christians, that we're going to go through some difficult and hard time. Why? Because he's going to allow stuff to happen. And one of the things he allowed is the enemy to do certain things, but not destroy us. I love that. I love that, right? Matter of fact, Job, everybody knows Job's story. It's real simple. You can do all that other stuff, but you can't kill him. Because that's what the devil wants to do. He wants to destroy him. But he got to get permission. And God said, I'm not going to give him that permission. I'm the one who give life and take it. Can't nobody else do it. And I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to know me as their personal savior before they transition. I'm going to give them time after time, but the devil don't want that. He does not want you to know God. He does not want you to know Christ. So here's the deal. Whether you are saved or unsaved, the devil still want to destroy you. Why is that, Bishop? Glad you asked. If you unsaved, he want to destroy you before you get saved. If you save, he want to destroy you so you won't keep trying to tell other folk about the salvation that you have. So his overall job is to destroy anybody in this whole entire world, and he have the reasons to do it. Say, Bishop, man, he can use anybody. Absolutely, your co-workers, your boss, anybody. But it's just a formation. Don't worry about the forms that happens in your life, because they won't prosper. I said this either in Bible study or a previous sermon, and it's always been on my mind recently, that You have to, as a Christian, understand this. This is what I discovered, that every prayer I make to God, he always answers. You're like, no, yes, he does. Because here's the deal. When we pray and we believe, and we automatically believe that whatever we ask is going to come to pass, but at the end of our prayer, we say, but nevertheless, not my will, as Jesus did. I don't like what's going on. I don't like how this happened. I don't like this pain. I don't like this result. I don't like what's happening in my life. It's uncomfortable, as Jesus did. But he said, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. If you want me to do that, if you want that to happen, then I'm putting it in your hand. But I'm praying that that doesn't happen. I'm praying that that stop. I'm praying that that start. I'm praying that I get that job. Praying that I get that promotion. I'm praying. I'm not believing. I'm going to do my part. But if I don't, help me out. 3 Hebrew boys. It ain't the fact that God won't save us. It ain't that he can't. It's just depending on what he's willing to do. He may have another reason for putting us in the fire. He may have a purpose behind allowing us to get into the fire. It ain't going to burn us. It ain't going to kill us. Why? Because that's a form of the weapon. It's going to form. So I'm going to be in uncomfortable situations at times. That's a formation. I'm going to be feeling down. I may feel some pain sometimes. That's just a formation. What are you going to do during the formation? Are you going to give up throwing the towel? Or are you just going to say, hey, it's just a formation. It ain't going to prosper. Devil, I know what you're trying to do. But God said, you going to try it, but he going to make it fail. Preach, Bishop. Let's hear it is. I was thinking about some formations. Like I said, let me think of some formations. Help me out, Holy Ghost. Formations are things like co-workers scheming against you. You have no idea why your boss scheming against you? You overheard a boss and a coworker talking about you think you something. You think you all that. You like, I ain't done nothing. All I do is come to work, take my lunch, 30-minute lunch and my 15-minute breaks. And now they talking about me? Yeah, that's a formation. Oh, okay, here it is. Your husband or your wife start acting strange. Like, man, they don't touch me like they used to. Or don't kiss me like they used to. You know, just start acting a little strange, right? It's just formation. Formation. You don't know what's going on, right? It's just formation. You was taking this test. You were knowing you were going to get this job. And they say, hey, take this assessment. You think you passed the assessment. They say, oh, no, you failed. There's no need to get mad. Why? Because there's a formation. Because when you pray to God for something, if God says no, then that's a good yes. Oh, man. Here it is. If you ask God for something to give you that job, and he knows all about it, right? And you say, I don't care. If you don't give me this job, then I'm quitting you as my savior, God. And God said, you know what? I'm going to give it to you then. You go ahead. Since you want to just do what you want to do and ain't going to depend on me and allow me to have a wholehearted say-so in your life, you go ahead. And then you get the job and like, I told y'all we're going to get it. I told God, hey, if y'all don't get this, man, I ain't going to believe in them no more. And then 2 months later, they lay off everybody because the new ownership came and bought the company. But God knew that. You didn't, right? And then you go back and say, God, why you give me the job? What? That's why we have to trust God wholeheartedly with absolute confidence, no doubt that everything that happened is God sent or God allowed, and I'm going to trust him when I pray and ask him for something. If I don't get it, it ain't because he couldn't give it to me. Preach, Bishop. Here it is. You may say another formation is your health. I already talked about mine, right? That was a formation. Cancer, oh my goodness, that word is powerful because it can just take a life just like that. But if your health begins to decrease or you have a health situation, that's a formation. It shouldn't, yeah, it's going to scare you, right? It's going to put you in an uncomfortable position, but that's a formation. That's a formation that God said is going to form. That's a weapon that's going to form. That's a situation that you may find yourself in, but do not look at that formation as the end result. He said that's a plan of the devil, but it won't prosper. It's going to fail. Your job hours may decrease, or your job situation may change. Your insurance company may disapprove of your claim. You may find a lump in your breast while you're feeling like, oh my God, it's a formation. It's a formation. You may feel depressed because of certain things going on in your life, or sex life ain't right like it used to be, or you get COVID, or you get the flu, or you get cussed out at work, or folks lying on you, and you get disapproved for a loan, or you think you're getting this house and they disapprove you for the house because your credit score is not high enough. I can go on and on about all these formations that happens in our life on the daily, on the weekly, on the monthly, on the yearly. They happen. It's just a formation, and you need to know that thing gonna form. But God said it ain't gonna prosper because they all forms, right? God said, listen here. When you trust in me, watch this, and put trust in the Father, all these things that form against you will not destroy you, because that's the ultimate result. When you say they won't prosper, it means that the ultimate result, it's not a tell-all, end-all. It's not going to end your life. It's not going to destroy your life. I don't care. Be like, well, God said it ain't prosper, but I went through this, went through that, went through. That's right. You went through this, you went through that, right? You went through all these things. But even though you went through all these things, the thing that the devil wanted to do, it didn't work. God made it fail. The thing that the devil really tried to do to you and destroy you, it didn't fail. You be like, well, Bishop, but my wife left me, and I told God I wanted her, and I love her, and I loved her to death. Yeah, but if God allowed her to leave, he knew something you didn't know that you're going to find out later. Help me out, somebody. God allowed him to leave my husband, little Bishop, my husband. He saw something you didn't see. But what the devil think would destroy you, God gonna make that thing fail. Yeah, you may cry. Yeah, you may be depressed. Yeah, you may be in tears. Yeah, you may say, I can't believe this, and I prayed. You may be downtrodden, disheartened. But the devil's job is to destroy you. And although you may weep and moan, although you may sit in the bed for hours at a time and cry, you may start drinking when you stop drinking. You may start smoking when you stop smoking. All of that ain't nothing. Why? Because you are still here. You are not destroyed. And that's the ultimate goal of Satan, to destroy you so you can stop being a living witness for Christ. You don't throw in the towel. You don't quit. No matter how long it takes, you don't quit. You stay the course. Matter of fact, 2 days ago, Dusty Baker, who was a manager of a baseball teams, won all these games, 2,000 and something games. 2 days ago, he was the only manager who won 2,000 and something games and hadn't won a championship. He been with like 3 different teams, and he came close. He was in the championship. He was up and winning, and all he needed was a few more outs, and they lost the game. But last night, he finally won the championship with the Houston Astros. Congratulations, by the way. What does it got to do with us, Bishop? Well, some of the broadcasters, they asked him how he feel about it, right? Here's one of the things that caught my eye. He said, my parents taught me long ago to always persevere. I was disappointed he didn't say God, he didn't say, give God the credit and all that. I'm a little disappointed in that. That don't mean he's not saved, y'all. He caught up in the moment. I don't know if he's Christian or not, but disappointed that he didn't thank God for the victory that after all these years and all these different teams and people not wanting to give him chances. There was other teams. Here it is. That was another team. I think it was the New York Yankees, Philadelphia. I can't remember which team, but there was other good teams that had a vacancy. And he applied for it. They said, oh, no, we're going with somebody else. He talked to his son about it. Watch what his son said. Dad, that means that wasn't for you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I don't know if his son is a Christian, but he got to be talking like that, right? That means that wasn't for you. It's going to be, that's the place you weren't supposed to be. Even though you wanted it, it's a good place, good atmosphere. They got good traditions and all that. But that wasn't where you're supposed to be. And now, right soon after that, he get a call from the Houston Astros asking him would he like to be manager again. And of course, he said yes. A few years later, he's a champion. He got scratched off the list of all the wins with no championship. That's powerful, y'all. That helps. That should help somebody right now who's been in a situation for so long and don't feel like you've gotten the credit or the glory that you should have gotten because you've been in the place for so long. You've been serving for so long. You hadn't got the victory or the notoriety that you think you should receive. Because still hold on. Because the devil want to destroy you. He wants you to get to a certain mindset where you say, you know what, forget this then. It puzzles me when folk 5 years before retirement just decide to quit. That's one thing if you hit the lottery. If you hit the 1.5 billion, oh yeah. I don't care if you've been on the job 19 and a half years. You need 6 more months to retire and get a check till you die. 1.5 billion, you ain't gonna need that job. You don't need that list, nothing. That's different, right? But some people quit because the boss made them mad. Some people quit because coworkers don't seem to get along with coworkers. You making $28 an hour, but you just gonna quit and go somewhere else. I don't understand that. Now, if you talk to God and prayed about it and God said, I got something better, that's a whole different story, right? Whatever the devil tries in your life, God gonna make it fail. Let's finish this message with this text message Jesus sent. I love this, y'all, because it says here in St. Luke, oh man, this is wonderful. Watch this. I'm trying to get my tablet to go. There it is. So he said, Simon, Simon, I love this. Satan has asked to sift you as wheat. I love this, y'all. I love this. Watch this. Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift you as wheat. First of all, this should encourage us even more so that God is in control of everything. We already know about the Job situation, right? That's the Old Testament. Now let's bring it to the New Testament. So it don't matter what the old or new. I love this because sometimes people try, well, that's Old Testament. Well, that's New Testament. Listen here. I don't care where you say old or new. God has control and has been in control since the beginning of time. He's the one who created everything. So Jesus says, Simon, watch this warning. And he's giving him notification like he already has done us. Simon, Satan has asked. Why did Satan have to ask? should provide us with all encouragement. Satan has to ask because he can't do it without permission. Oh my goodness. Satan has power, but God has all power. He has some power, but God has universal power. He has to ask before getting permission to do anything in any one of our lives. So whatever happens is either God sent or God allowed. It can't happen no other way. That should encourage somebody today that's going through something. You better look at it. Hey, God, you got a reason for doing this. I don't know your purpose or reason right now, but I'm going to trust you through my current situation because I know you allowed it or you sent it for a purpose or a reason. Satan asked to sift you. He wants to come against you. His plan is to attack you and destroy you. But God gonna make it fail. Oh my goodness, I love this. He watch this. After Jesus told Simon that Satan asked to do something to you, Peter, in my spiritual imagination, probably would have been like, okay, so what did you tell him? So, okay, Jesus. So what did you tell him? Did you tell him, no, you can't? Oh, I love this, y'all. Watch this. Jesus didn't tell Satan, no, you can't do it. I'm not giving you permission to. He basically gave him permission. And that's why Jesus was warning Peter. He was warning Simon. Listen here, I know where you think you are. You think you're strong and all this. But let me tell you what Satan has asked. He asked me, could he attack you, come against you? And I didn't say no. That's basically what happened, y'all. Basically, he got permission to sift you, to come against you, to attack you. And I'm giving you advance notice that that's what he's going to come against you with. But watch this. In that case, that means Simon, he's got forewarning. He needs to be prepared. I'm telling you in advance that Satan's going to do this. He told us in advance. He told us that Satan's job is to kill, steal, and destroy. Told us that he come that we may have life and abundant one at that. So we got him. Our life should be abundant regardless of what Satan does. Why? Because he can't do nothing without permission. Oh my goodness. Here it is. Sometimes God will allow stuff in our lives for a purpose or a reason, right? It could be for strength. It could be for endurance. It could be for patience. It could be for corrective action, because he chastised those he loved, right? Or it could be just to save yourself from yourself. Oh my goodness, thank you. Oh man, I don't know if y'all watch this show 60 Days In, but I watched this show 60 Days In, been watching it from the first season, but it's a good show, right? Reality, where they have teachers or preacher, I think one time, and they have different people who have never been in jail before to go inside the jail undercover, and they need to tell the warden of the jail if they're in the drugs, find out any drugs going on, you know, if the security and the inmates are acting a certain way, and the guards are acting, is there anything untoward, so he can make the prison life better, right? And it's been some stuff in the season. Some stuff going on each season. Well, this season, this year, it's the first time that they have regular former inmates to go back undercover. Former inmates to go back undercover. And I was like, whoa, this is going to be interesting, because they used to be in there for real. But they changed their lives. They gotten their lives on track, doing great things in the world, right? But they were asked to go back in and to find the same thing, the drugs, if they stealing, if the guards are doing what they're supposed to do, find out so I can make my jail better. That's why they asked them to go back in there. Well, most of them didn't make it. Number one is because they were in an environment where they didn't have to be. They volunteered to do it. And then when they got to a certain point where they like, man, I miss my family, I miss my, Some of them just said, hey, I got a headache, which was the sign for them to get them out of, hey, bad headache. So they got them out. A lot of them didn't make it. But this one guy, had to be saved from himself, because he pretty much became the boss of the floor of that cell unit, the head honcho of the cell unit. He had people fight for him. He had people giving him drugs, and I mean, But he said, listen here. He said, I'm doing this to let the warden know how the drugs are coming in. But you know what? He started taking them. He was like, it's too noisy, people loud. So one of the drugs that he's supposed to have been turning over, he took it. Like, oh man, I felt good. I got some good sleep. But he knew they were watching him. He undercover. They watching you. So they pulled him out, and he was like, what happened? And the warden told him, I saved you from yourself. Before you could get too further in deep and wind up going back to prison for real, he said, I saved you from yourself. And you know what? That blessed me. I love that, right? Because the guy seemed like a good guy, good family man. Seemed like a good guy, but he got in too deep and got back into an environment that he had been accustomed to in the past, and it started wreaking his head, and the warden watching this saw him and said, get him out of there. He finally recognized it later on when they had the after meeting. But sometimes I believe that's what God does with us. Yeah, we'll get mad, but God said, you know what? Sometimes I got to save you from yourself. Sometimes God would allow things in our lives to say, you be like, man, I'm doing this thing. I'm messing around. I'm dating this person. And I know I shouldn't be because I'm married. And you know what? But I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm just giving a little this and little that. And then God said, you know what? Before you get in too deep, I'm going to let you get caught. I'm trying to help somebody. Sometimes God allows stuff in our life so that we can be saved from our own selves. We'll still get mad. I can't believe it. Why would this happen? Oh, God. He's like, no, I save you from yourself. Watch this. And then with Jesus, instead of Jesus saying, I told him no, watch what he says. This blessed me. In verse 32, he said, now Satan asked to come against you. He asked to sift you like wheat. He really wanted to destroy you. So what you tell him, Jesus? I'm telling you, I prayed for you. Oh my goodness. That blessed me right there. Jesus said, listen here, I didn't tell him no, I just prayed for you. What did you pray? Watch this. He said, Simon, I pray that your faith will not fail. Not that you ain't going to go through, because I already gave him permission. I've already authorized him to sift you. I've already authorized him to test you. I've already authorized him to mess with you. I authorized him to come against you. But I prayed already. What did you pray, Jesus? I prayed that the faith that you now have in me, that you will still have in me, and it will hold up when he starts to sifting you. Please, Bishop, I'm trying to help somebody. When he begins to start testing you, I want that faith that I prayed about to stand firm. I want it to stand strong. I want you to say, hey, for Christ I live, for Christ I die. Even in the midst of your sifting, even in the midst of your testing, even in the midst of your trial, I want you to stand strong. That's what I prayed for. And y'all know when Jesus prayed, oh my goodness. You know that thing is powerful. So he prayed that your faith not fail. Watch this. I ain't praying that you won't fail, because you may go through some stuff and you may feel down, you may do some things. I just want your faith to remain. I want your faith in me to still be there after all the stuff that I allowed Satan to do in your life. Oh my goodness. Because somebody's looking right now, you like, you don't know what's going on, man. This is crazy. But God said, I pray that your faith won't fail. That's the thing, because that's what the devil wants, right? Remember? He come to kill, steal, and destroy. Unsaved, he try to get you before you get saved. You saved, he trying to get you before you help somebody else, or he want to come against you so much that your faith fail. But Jesus already prayed that it won't. Preach, Bishop, I'm trying to help somebody. Shoot, that weapon form. That weapon form, but it ain't going to prosper. He said, I prayed for it to be strong and it won't fail. I know. I love this, y'all. I love this. He said, the weapon will form, but it won't prosper. Well, here's the deal. The best part about knowing, or somebody would say, well, Bishop, how do we know this, though? It's good to say it, but how do we know this? Jesus already prophesied to Simon, and he probably missed it, right? Because he was focused on, you allowed him to sift me? Wait a minute, Jesus, I've been following you all this time, and I'll die for you. Y'all know later on, he said, listen here, bro, all that noise you talking, before the rooster crows, you're going to deny me 3 times. So all that talk ain't nothing. Listen here, I'm just telling you in advance, you're going to be tested again. You think you're going to be tested before the rooster crow. Even after the rooster crow, there's going to be some more testing. I'm just praying that your faith won't fail. Oh, my goodness. Here it is. I love this because it says, Jesus said, I'm prophesying to you. First, I'm giving you notification that you're going to go through. Because Satan asked to sift you, and I say, go ahead. And I prayed for your faith so it won't fail in the midst of your sifting. But here's the good news. Here's the end result. Jesus said, when, oh my goodness, not if, but watch this. He said, when you're converted. Oh my God. Y'all seeing that? When you have overcome, when, when, when you have gotten the strength that you need, he said, I want you to strengthen your brother to help your brother go through what I allowed you to get through. Because there going to be some other folk that's in the same position that you are going to be in because I allowed Satan to sift you. But when you come through that, wait a minute, you already know I'm coming through. Yeah, how you know, Jesus? Because I prayed that your faith not fail. Oh, my goodness. You know, your faith won't fail, but that thing that he has coming against you that he's trying, it's going to fail. But I'm praying that your faith won't when he starts sifting. And when you come over, when you have brought yourself over through the faith in me, I want you to look at that brother struggling and help that brother come on over after you have overcome. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to help somebody. Here it is. The devil will try it, but God would make it fail. That God will continue to bless and keep you is my prayer. Don't forget your seeds, tithes, and offering. Until next time, God be with you. Oh, man. Woo! God made it fail. He made it fail. Everything the devil tried, God made it fail. God made it fail. God made it fail. He made it fail. Everything that the devil tried, God made it fail.